Hey, last week we talked about paying your family members. It was kind of longer than I thought it would be, so this is part two of paying your family members. If you want to go back and watch last week's, we talked about paying your spouse, paying your minor kids, and paying your adult kids over 18. Actually, it'd be really great if you go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And every Tuesday when I go ahead and do a video for you, you can actually get notified. So you can go to the bell and go ahead and click notify me when the videos come out. Okay. This week, I'm going to be talking about paying your grandchildren and then just making sure that we're covering all of the little extra um, things in case we get audited that we need to have in intact to make sure that we can pay these people legitimately, stand up in IRS court or whatever, the audit, right? So let's get to paying our grandchildren. If you own a business, can you pay your grandchildren? The answer is a little bit tricky, but there is a way to do it. So it's never a no, it's a but how can we? So, how can we pay the grandchildren? So, um what you would need to do is if you're trying to save on Social Security and Medicare taxes, like that's the part that we're trying to save on is not have like we can hire them, but then we'd have to pay Social Security and Medicare taxes on them because they're not our children, right? Um, but what we can do is like those grandchildren have parents. One of those parents are your kids, right? Um, so what we can do is we'd have to work with our own children to do this. But what you want to do is you want to get talk with your son or daughter, whoever has these kids that you want to pay, and they need to open up just like a DBA, and it's going to be a management company, and then that management company is going to invoice the company that you work for, that you own. Um, Say you want to pay you have one grandkid, and actually it'd be really better if I just draw this out for you. Let me see if I can do that. Host tools. Sorry. No, it's whiteboard. Whiteboard. New whiteboard. Okay, we're gonna try something new here. Okay, so here is your company. So, your company, right? And then you have Um, you have this is your daughter. She doesn't work for you and she's over 18. And then you have your grandchild. Um, your grandchild is say 15 years old and she's legitimately coming to your work and she's filing, she is maybe running errands for you, filing, what else can they do? Maybe they end up painting, you're redecorating, you want to have them come paint your office. They might need to shred documents. They might need to clean. Like instead of hiring someone to come clean the office, you are going to hire your granddaughter to come clean. So what you would do is you are going to, this is for that your grandchild can get paid without owing any Social Security and Medicare taxes, and then you're only paying them directly, right? So what you're going to do is you are going to have your daughter or son, it doesn't really matter, whatever the parent is to this child, right? They're going to open up a Schedule C. They're going to open up a management company. And it's really just like a DBA. It could be like their last name management company. And when they do need to open up a bank account, so get an EIN number, have them open up at a bank account. Um, and then like it could be their last name management company. And then when the bank asks what they're doing, you could say janitorial services, something like that, or landscaping services or something like that. And then, um, say we pay them 500 a month. So what will happen is your daughter's management company will need to invoice your company for $500 a month. Okay. And then what and then the $500 a month will then go to pay the granddaughter directly, or maybe it's $490 a month because you're going to have some bank fees. When you have a business bank account, like my bank card charges me $8 a month. It could be $10. Shouldn't be more than that. So then we're going to pay granddaughter 490 say dollars per month. So ultimately, and then what else we're going to have is we're going to have, we'll just say, um, bank fees, $8 per month. So ultimately, they're going to have like a net profit of like $0 to $2 per month, right? Um, so, and you know what? Just for the fun of it, um, ultimately, they're going to have a zero net income. So we can pay the daughter 400 and granddaughter $492 a month. So ultimately this company is gonna have zero revenue for the year. So yes, they will have to do a Schedule C on the daughter's tax return. But there will be no Social Security or Medicare taxes paid on this because the net revenue for the year equals $0. So no Social Security and Medicare taxes will be paid. And on the tax return, the Schedule C, however many months you're paying, so 500 times 12 months, $6,000. That's not right. I guess it is. 500 times 12 is $6,000 per month. And then we're paying the granddaughter, or your daughter's paying the granddaughter, $492 times 12 months. That is 5,900. Let's just write this out. 5,904 per year that you pay her. You're gonna have what, $72 or whatever worth of bank feeds for the year. So that's how it gets to be zero. And then now that your granddaughter, um, so on the Schedule C, we'll have income for the whole year of $6,000 that's coming in for income. Your company gets to write, say, $6,000 for the entire year for management fees. That's what we're going to call it. And then this company right here, the daughter's management company, is going to have 8 times 12. They're going to have $96 worth of bank feeds for the year. They're going to have $5,904 for outside labor. That's what you need to call it, outside labor. And it's going to be paid to the daughter. So it's going to have a zero revenue. And then, so the granddaughter, she has income of $5,904 for the entire year. She will not have to pay Social Security and Medicare taxes on that because her parent, her mom, was paying her. When you pay a child, they do not have to pay Social Security and Medicare taxes until they get to be age 18. Because this kind of goes back to the one that I was talking about last week. And this is actually a perfect example of how what I was talking about last week on and actually I'll get to that next. But this is how you do it. So once the grandchild, they have to work. So they have to be doing something for your company, but they're getting paid through this company. So the daughter's company, the management company is going to invoice your company. This is how we make it legit. They were going to figure out the hours and what the granddaughter's doing for your company. And then she needs to have, you're just going to do her as a 1099. So you need to have a W-9 for your the granddaughter, like your daughter needs to have her daughters, the granddaughters, W-9 filled out like she would a regular subcontractor. Um, and we need to have timesheets and duties of what she's doing. So it has to be legit. So whatever she's doing for your company, but then your daughter is going to invoice you for this $500 per month. So you need to have an invoice for this management company that you are paying now. So I hope that makes sense. And again, this is why we have these comprehensive consultations, because I make sure that you're doing it correctly in case you get audited, that we have all the documentation that you need. So, okay, what are some other benefits of paying your grandchild? So now your grandchild has $5,904 in, I'm gonna stop share. Oh, I'm not sure how to do that, but, so it's a tax deduction. You get a tax deduction for literally paying your granddaughter. And what she can do with that money is she could open up a Roth IRA for her earned income. So the limit for 2024 and for now 2025 is $7,000 a year that you can put into a Roth IRA as long as you have earned income. Well, this grandchild now has earned income. Seeing how she's only made $5,904 for the year, that's the most that she can put up to. If you were to pay her more than 7 grand, she could completely max out this IRA and put 7 grand in, but it's 7 grand or the most of your earned income. If she could also be babysitting and babysitting would be a normal job for a 15-year-old granddaughter. If she wants to claim that babysitting income and maybe that gets her up to the 7 grand, she could literally put all 7 grand into the Roth now. The Roth grows, you pay taxes on it now. Well, guess what? If you've only made, $5,904 or up to 7 grand, you're not going to be paying any federal taxes on that. So she's in the 0% tax bracket, right? And then she gets to put money into a Roth, and it's going to keep on growing tax-free until she takes it out when she's like 59 and a half. Like, this is amazing. Whenever, like, if you keep on paying her when she's 16 and when she's 17, like, she doesn't have to pay Social Security and Medicare taxes on that. So 15, 16, 17, you pay her up to 7 grand. That's $21,000 that she could potentially start off her life with in a Roth that's going to continue to grow tax-free until she retires at 59 and a half. And then she can start taking it out at 59 and a half. There will be no penalties. But there's other things that you can do with a Roth. Like if you need to use it for school, you can take it out for school. If you have lots of medical expenses that's over the 5.5, the 7.5%, she could pay for medical. Like first time home buyer, you get a $10,000, you can take it out tax free. That you get to take it out. Like there's no penalty. And as long as the money's been in there for at least five years, so there's a 5-year seasoning period, you can take it out. And if it's for one of those causes, there's no taxes on it, there's no penalty on it. And actually, if you've had your Roth open for 5 years and whatever you have put in, so say this 5,904, you can actually take it out. You've already paid taxes on it and you're not going to get charged on it. But it's the interest that grows from your investment. That's what you're going to get penalized from if you take it out without an exception and take it out before you're 59 and a half. You could also open up a Coverdell IRA for this granddaughter that we're talking about, and it could be a grandson. And then there's investment opportunities. If you are doing self-directed at all, this would be a great opportunity for your grandchild that you can start teaching them how to invest with this money. The Coverdell IRA, you can put up to 2 grand a year in there. The Roth IRA is up to 7 grand or your earned income. So it's a lot of fun. Okay, so what are the things that you need to know? And this is for week 1 or this week two, this part two, you need to have good record keeping. So make sure you're maintaining records of the time worked and the tasks performed. So someone has to be taking records of what the kids are doing, whether they're your own kids or they're your spouse or they're your grandchild. You need to have, like, what are they doing and what's the time? Because the other thing is you have to pay them a reasonable wage. So you can't go ahead, like if you were to hire that position, say we hire the granddaughter to come in and she's going to clean the office for you. Well, I can tell you, I have my lady here and she comes in every other week for a few hours and she charges me $70. So I couldn't, if that's what I would pay someone normally for, I can't go ahead and pay my family member more than what I would pay someone else to do it for. So it has to be a reasonable wage for the work done. So if you were to pay the granddaughter, say $50 or $60 when you would normally pay someone else 70, that would work. You might even be able to get away with $70 as long as it seems reasonable and you're paying a fair market rate for whatever work they're doing. Also, you need to avoid family chores. So basically, you cannot pay your granddaughter, your kids, or your spouse for them cleaning your personal house, or doing your yard work at your personal residence. It has to be for the business. So avoid any household chores as your business expenses. So here's some other business structure considerations. Okay. If your business type is a sole proprietorship or a partnership, what's the payroll tax requirement? So there's no payroll tax for children under 18 if you're a sole prop or a partnership. No payroll taxes for children under 18. Okay. If you have an S Corp or a C Corp, there is payroll taxes required no matter what their age is. Okay. So you might as well just put, if you want to pay them, you put them on as a W-2. That way they have Social Security, Medicare taxes because you do have to pay that. There's no benefit if it's an S Corp or a C Corp. You're not saving yourself any money. You'd be paying them like you were any other regular person, right? It's the that's why you open up a family management company. So the family management company, that's where there's no payroll taxes for children under 18. So if you have the S Corp or the C Corp, you really want to open up the family management company. And so this works for your grandchild, like, but also say if this is your company and it's a S Corp or a C Corp, you want to, and say you are a female, that I'm talking to, you will want to have your spouse, which is a male. Well, not necessarily. We'll just say your spouse. Um, okay, so you want to pay your spouse. Um, your spouse will need to open up a family management company. I can't spell. Um, and then the spouse is going to pay um, the kids under 18. And then there's no Social Security. There's no payroll taxes for children under 18 if you pay it this way, if you have the C Corp or an S Corp. So say you own it 100%, you'll want to have your spouse with his or her Social Security number. Go ahead and just open up like a DBA. I have it, my last name, family management company, open up a bank account, and then um, my family management company invoices my company for whatever the kids worked on. And again, we have to make sure we have their W-9s, make sure that we're keeping track of their records, like how many hours they worked and what they're doing. And then, so when we go to file our tax return, my husband, we have to file it. We have to file that Schedule C on our personal tax return, but it's going to be a zero tax return. Like we'll have the income and then all the expenses will go out. And they're going out to contract labor or outside sales. It's called outside sales. And then both of my kids are under 18. So there's no Social Security or Medicare on there. And then I make my kids pay for their own stuff. Like they pay for their taekwondo, they pay for their band stuff, any trips, their Boy Scouts. I even make them pay for their clothes. If they want anything extra, like it, um, that's how we do things. And then basically I'm not paying payroll taxes. Like you save the payroll taxes on there. And then we also open up a Roth for them for both the kids. And then they can contribute up to what they've made or up to 7 grand to their Roth IRA. So keep on growing tax free. Okay, and then final takeaways. Final takeaways. So we're going to wrap this up. So the first thing is you need to determine if you have a business, ordinary or passive. Like, what is your business ownership, right? Next, you need to figure out what your family involvement is. Identify family members who can legitimately work in your business. And we have to look at state law too. I always think of Texas because that's where I live, but in California, like kids can literally not work for you unless they're in like the show business or whatever, right? But if we need to have them as a modeling expense, like younger kids can even do modeling. They're gonna have to have, be in pictures and be able to speak, like if you're doing presentations or something, like you need to have them up there and being that a modeling fee, like being able to do something for your advertising and marketing, right? Um, and then the last thing is we need to know your business structure. So consider your business structure when planning family employment strategies. That's all very, very important. Those are the 3 important things. I finally figured it out. It's a little X. So if you have a business and this is something you want to talk more about, go ahead and book a discovery call with us. If you like this video or have questions, go ahead and follow us, put in comments below any questions that you have. And I hope this was helpful. Share this out with anyone that you think this would benefit. Thank you. Have a great day.